Okay, class, today we're going to do the last section of Unit 8, and it's Section 9, and we're going to start getting into the quadratic formula. It's going to take us 2 days to get through it. So today I am going to introduce it to you. So here's the quadratic formula. So, when you solve polynomials using the quadratic formula, you're going to set x equal to the opposite of b plus or minus your radical sign, and inside the radical sign is b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. Now, probably wondering, where do I get the a, b, and c? Well, that's from your quadratic equation. Okay? Leading coefficients a, coefficient in front of your x is b, and then c is your constant, the number that stands alone. Okay? Negative b just means the opposite. Means the opposite of b. Alright? And this right here just means plus or negative, whatever you pull out of the radical sign. Alright, so let's do an example here. And then over here to the side, we'll write the steps. Okay, first step is we need to get the equation equal to 0 so we can identify our a, b, and our c. And it's not equal to 0. So to do that, we can subtract 5x from both sides. So we have x squared minus 5x plus 6 equals 0. Now I can identify my a, b, and c. Okay, so a is 1, b is negative 5, and c is 6. Now we can substitute in. So, x equals negative b. Opposite of b, that's the opposite of b. Well, b is negative 5, so the opposite of b is positive 5. Plus or minus, inside your radical sign, b squared, so that's negative 5, substitute in for b, minus 4 times your a times your c, all over 2 times your a. And then we're going to simplify from here. Okay, so I have 5 plus or minus inside my radical sign. Negative 5 times negative 5 is 25, minus 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 6 is 24. All over, for your denominator, 2. Now, let's keep simplifying. Simplify inside that radical sign. 5 plus or minus 25 minus 24 is 1, all over 2. Okay, square root of 1 is 1. So, I have 5 plus or minus 1, all over 2. So, I'm going to have 2 answers here. And I'm going to go above so I have room. So, from here, I have 5 plus 1 over 2, and I have 5 minus 1 over 2. 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 5 minus 1 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So my answer is not an ordered pair here. It's where it crosses the x-axis at 3 and 2. There's 2 solutions there. Okay, so let's practice this. All right. Forgot to put second step here. Second step. Substitute in your formula, use and simplify, okay? All right, so first step. Is it set to 0? Yes, so we can identify our a, our b, and our c. Now we can substitute in. So x equals opposite of b. B is negative 2, so the opposite of b is 2, plus or minus, radical sign, b squared minus 4 times a times c, all over 2 times a. Okay? So let's simplify. X equals 2 plus or minus. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4, minus 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times a negative 8 is a negative 32. All over your denominator 2. Okay, so let's simplify. 2 plus or minus square root of, guys, remember you never subtract, you always add its opposite. So 4 plus 32 is 36. All over your denominator here. Okay, square root of 36 is 6. So what I have here is 2 plus 6 over 2, 2 minus 6 over 2. So I'm going to have two solutions. 2 plus 6 is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 2 minus 6, that's the same as 2 plus a negative 4, 2 plus a negative 6, which is a negative 4. Negative 4 divided by 2 is a negative 2. So my solution to number 1, there are 2, is going to be 4 and negative 2. Okay, let's do another one. All right, so let's put this equal to 0. First step, identify A, identify B, and identify C. Substitute into your quadratic formula. Opposite of B, B is negative 4, so the opposite is positive 4, plus or minus B squared minus 4 times A times C all over 2 times A. And see if y'all can simplify that. Okay. Let's see what the time is. 9 minutes. Okay, so what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you practice 3 or 4 on your own. And I go over those answers with you in class. And let's go on to the second part of this, where we're solving the quadratic formula and putting the answer in simplest radical form. So let's look at this first one here. Do the same thing we did before. Identify your A, B, and your C. Substitute in. Opposite of B is negative 4. Okay, substitute into your formula. Simplify. So we have 4 times 4, which is 16. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times a negative 7 is a negative 56, all over 4. always add its opposite. So what we have here, 12, 5, 6, 72, is that right? Yep, square root of 72. All over 4. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to look at, and I taught you this in class the other day, is we need to look at the square root of 72 and break that down to simplest radical form. So I know I can take square root of 9 times the square root of 8. 9 is a perfect square, so I can pull out a 3. However, I can break 8 down to 4 times 2. 4 is a perfect square, so I can bring a 2 out of that. 2 is not, so I'm going to leave that inside the radical sign. So the square root of 72 in simplest radical form is going to be 3 times 2, which is 6. Keep your radical 2. So when we simplify this, we have x equals -4 plus 6 square root of 2 over 4. And we have -4 minus 6 over, 6 square root of 2 over 4. Now, this is not in simplest form. What we can do here, class, is -4 divided by 4 is going to give me a -1. 6 and 4 have a common factor of 2, so let's factor that out. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and then we got to keep our square root of 2. So there's one of my answers. Okay? Second one is going to be -1 minus 3 square root of 2 over 2. Okay? All right, I'm going to need to stop this, make sure I have time, and I'll see you in just a minute.